Hey guys, so today I'm going to be looking at people who had a weird experience at someone's house. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. At someone's birthday party at her house, she divided us into groups and made us write songs about her. What? That's awkward. A buddy and I were walking down the street and noticed a drunk guy bothering a woman outside a store and his balls were hanging out of his shorts. We stopped to help, and so does some guy in an army jacket. And after the cops come by to deal with the drunk guy, army guy invites us over to have a beer. We were about 14 or so at the time. We said, sure. Get to his apartment and he gives us a beer each and shows us his big knife. Tells us how to gouge out eyes and how to shoot someone under the chin at the throat, pointing up so if by chance they survive, they will be paralyzed. Then proceeds to demonstrate on me a choke move he was taught, which hurt. My friend had the knife in hand just in case army guy didn't let go. After I was let go and able to breathe, we pieced out of there fast. The longer we sat there, the more scared I was getting. Haven't thought about that for some time. Oh my god, I feel like kids should be more aware of this. If an adult invites you to their place, never say yes, man. I thought we were all taught that as kids. This is the same as never get into somebody's car, even if they're offering you candy. This person offered beer, and the kids were really like, sure. Dude, that's scary. Went to a friend's house. We came in and somebody started yelling and swearing at him from another room for no reason at all. Scary, threatening and abusive sounding. It was his dad and the dad didn't realize I was there. The kid was cool about it, just kind of. Maybe we should go for a walk. It was how cool the kid was that unnerved me. Just his day to day. Man, that's so sad. Then you just realize that someone is dealing with that every day and they're just numb to it. Stayed at my friend's house one time and found out her family only uses red light bulbs in the house because an astrologer told them to do so. Yo, that's scary, man. Imagine just going into a house and it's just red. Dude, that's like a horror house, man. I remember when I was a kid, probably around 10 or so, we went to friends of our families for dinner. The husband and wife got into a very loud screaming match over whether to serve creamed corn or frozen corn. I'm talking in each other's faces and being shrilly loud. 10-year-old me was fascinated by how such a mundane object could arouse such passions. And of course, I wanted to see how it turned out, but we were instead quickly ordered into the car and left. Still never understand how corn caused such a disagreement. I found out later they got divorced. Dang, man, they must really love the corn. I'm pretty sure we all know it's not the corn, man. Someone did something and they're just mad at each other. Honestly, if you start fighting about little things, you know the relationship ain't gonna end well. This one time, I was at my ex-girlfriend's girlfriend during that time, and we weren't doing very well in the relationship. We were in the driveway talking, and we ended up sitting in her car while we talked about how the relationship wasn't the same as before, and how we weren't really feeling it like it was going anywhere. The regular talk before a breakup. It was pretty tense and kinda sad. We noticed that the bathroom window was on, so we lowered our voices as we didn't want her family to hear us talking about breaking up. She was about to cry when we heard a massive compressed fart echo through the confines of the porcelain toilet. The atmosphere changed entirely. We tried not to laugh, but it was impossible not to. Her mom called her with doubt as she asked her name. We rushed the hell out of the car and proceeded to laugh our asses off. That day, whatever her mom ate before laying the log saved our relationship. We didn't break up until 3 months later. What the heck? How farts save relationships. Amazing. When I was about 10, my cousins and I were sleeping at my grandma's house in Oklahoma. My uncle Rick came home drunk and got loud, so my grandma started yelling at him and hitting him with a rolled up magazine. My other uncle Cecil told us 3 kids to run out the back door and hide at the creek cause Rick's a mean drunk. It's about midnight and we run down to the creek and stand around looking at each other for about 10 minutes and then we walk back. We come in through the front door with muddy feet and leaves in our hair. Uncle Rick had already gone to bed. He wasn't mean at all. My grandma yells at us asking why were we outside. We say we were hiding at the creek. She says, who told you to hide at the creek? We all point at Uncle Cecil, who was in the corner laughing. She starts chasing him around the table and beating him with a magazine. He was hiding his face yelling, ow, 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 like he was in pain, but I could see he was still laughing. We all ran to the bedroom and jumped in bed and pulled the covers over our heads until it got quiet and we went to sleep. Wait, what? Dude, Uncle Cecil is a freaking troll, man. He's a clown. That's so dangerous for kids to be hiding there. Man, not good. When I was a kid, I went over to a friend's house. At some point, they went to have dinner. They meaning the whole family. I wasn't at any point asked to join them. So while they ate, I sat in the living room. Dude, I feel like this is very common for a lot of people. Some families just don't have the manners to ask you to eat with them. Like, why? I mean, that has never happened to me. And it's never happened to anyone that I know. Because I feel like mostly for Asian families, they would always invite you to eat with them. Like, come eat! As a 12-year-old, we shifted to a small town from our cattle property so we kids could go to high school. I didn't know anyone at school till the weird kid befriended me, invited me home after school one day. There's me thinking, great, I'm making friends. And when we got there, her mum was obviously slightly drunk. No father around that I could see. Just sitting in her room talking crap when her mum calls us into her bedroom. So we went in and her mum is lying on a single bed and there's a double in there that we both sort of lounged on. Then her mum starts crying. The girl tells me her dad died about 6 months ago. I'm growing so sorry to hear that. Her mum starts telling me how he was a bad alcoholic and they'd gone to bed one night. He was spooning her when he died in his sleep with his arms wrapped around the mum. Because she was drunk too, she didn't wake up till quite late and his body had started rigor mortis. She realizes and starts screaming. Daughter runs in. Dad is dead and mum is stuck in his arms. Had to call the police to help, apparently. She couldn't get out. Best bit though was I was sitting on the bed where he'd died 6 months previous, but then never changed the sheets or covers. They smelt musty. No wonder the girl acted weird. They both really needed therapy, but this was nearly 50 years ago. How do you not change the bed sheets? Like, oh my god, dude. Yeah. They both do need some help because there's no way a normal person would just leave the bedsheets like that. But man, that actually sounds horrifying. The fact that you're just stuck there and you can't do anything to like try to help the dead husband, like, you know what I mean? You can't even try to do anything. When I was 14, I went to a friend's house for a birthday party sleepover. There were 5 other girls invited. After dinner, we got settled in the lounge room to watch horror movies. Her parents came in and sat on the couch, took out 2 huge bongs and got stoned. They started commenting the movie as we watched it, like it was a live sports event. This was the first time all us girls had seen drugs or been around someone on drugs. So weird. Birthday girl was so embarrassed. We never went back to her house for a sleepover after that one. Crazy. So crazy how some kids are just exposed to that every single day. Man, I feel bad. They act as if it's so normal to just be doing that in front of kids. Like, what are you doing? In college, I drank way too much. One weekend, a friend invited a group of us to go ice fishing and then stay the night at his parents' house. I became blackout drunk and in the morning I woke up in his childhood bedroom which still had old toys, silly wallpaper and rocket ship blankets. It was so surreal. I sat there for what felt like forever, terrified, desperately trying to remember where I was and how I got there. It's one of only a few times I've legitimately panicked. I honestly would have thought like I went back in time or something, man. That is kind of like creepy though. The fact that you wake up and you don't know where you are, that's scary. One time I went to a sleepover when I was 12 and the mum was there the whole time. I don't just mean in the house doing her own thing. I mean she had a sleeping bag out on the living room floor with all of us. Most awkward sleepover I've ever been to. Worst part is the girl didn't even think it was weird. Also, we have to go to bed at 8, so there's that. I'm assuming the mum never had a sleepover when she was a kid, so she wants to be part of it. That is kind of creepy though. Just to be hanging out with kids like that because the kids will feel uncomfortable because you're the mum, right? So it's hard for them to just act normal and talk about things they like to talk about because you're the adult. Yeah, I kind of feel bad for the mum though for some reason. In college, I went to this girl's house during a free period with 6 or 7 friends. We arrive and she opens the door, says hello to her father, and immediately strips down to her bra and panties in the living room. We spent 45 minutes hanging out with her and her dad, and the whole time she's walking around in basically nothing. I asked her dad about it at a different time, and he says she's always done this and acted like it was a completely normal thing to do. That's interesting. Normally it would be like the dad just being shirtless and, you know, I've never heard of like the kid doing that, roaming around almost naked in front of the parents. That's kind of weird. That is weird. I mean, I feel like it's weird for the girls, but if it's the guy, then it's normal because every guy just walks around topless anyways, right? They'll just be in their boxers when they come home. Sleepover at my friend's. Family of 6, 2 adults and 4 kids. Ran out of toilet paper, and though a 7-Eleven and several other stores were mere blocks away, gas stations, McDonald's to steal from, they employed the family towel, poop stains and all, tacked to the wall. I held my pee all night until I nearly got a kidney infection the next morning. I called my dad to get me as early in the morning as he could. Poop towel. Everyone used the same poop towel. That's disgusting. Went to a friend's early Saturday in middle school, possibly 9th grade. Went grocery shopping with her sister and mum. Well, we get back and I had a bunch of bags of groceries waiting in the garage by the door. My friend said to just go in. I didn't want to because her dad was home and I didn't meet him yet. My friend insisted it was fine. I went in from the garage door, and when I looked in directly to the right in the kitchen, her dad was cooking something on the stove. I don't remember what he yelled, but I immediately went back out of the way I came. I can only imagine the face I was making. Somehow my friend convinced me to still stay the night. I was deeply embarrassed and avoided her father. I felt like such a bad guest. I always knocked, and I was mostly mad at her for telling me to go in. Hilarious now, though. Man, that's funny, dude. See, this is what dads normally do, okay? They'll just be chilling. That's so awkward. The dad must have felt so freaking embarrassed. Like, he probably didn't even know there was a guest, right? Jeez. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!